I want to read to you some statements from some of the people of disbelief, from the atheists, and from, the philosophies which they have today, the philosophies, right? The philosophy of nihilism and the philosophy of existentialism, right? These are some of the main philosophies today that drive the people of disbelief, the atheists, the naturalists. I'll explain what these are. What is nihilism? Nihilism means that you reject all moral principles, you reject the notion of religion, you reject that there's any meaning to life, there's any purpose to life, there's nothing of this sort. No morals, no principles, no purpose to life, no meaning to life, right? It's you have a blank slate. There's nothing, right? This is nihilism, right? Then you have like existentialism, right? Just means that what this basically means is that because there's no purpose, there's no meaning to life, each one of us has to now create his own purpose. Do you understand? He has to create his own purpose in life, which he's then going to pursue. And that purpose is the truth for him. Right? Every person has his own truth. Your truth is your truth. Your truth is your truth. Right? So for example, if I decide my truth is, there's a lot of weak and ignorant people out there, so I'm going to, take their wealth and find ways, and this is my pursuit of happiness. This is the way I'm going to be happy in my life and feel self-fulfilled. I'm going to acquire riches by means of violence and things of that nature. That's my truth. That's my truth. That's the truth and the meaning and the purpose of life as it exists for me. And you can't tell me it's wrong. You can't tell me it's wrong because there's nothing to say it's wrong. Do you understand? And so this existential nihilism, this general philosophy, you can now see what kind of society it produces, what kind of individual it produces, right? And also, as I mentioned, that if you believe there's no meaning to life, there's no purpose to life, there's no objective to life, then you're going to have a very negative, very bleak outlook, a very pessimistic outlook. Which is why this type of way of thinking, it encourages the most evil deeds. It encourages the most, the most evil of traits. It brings out the most evil of characteristics in people. Alright? And I'm going to read to you, like I said, I'm going to read to you some statements here to show you this type of pessimistic attitude that comes with atheism, materialism, nihilism. Right? These people have nothing to live for. Right? There's no meaning. So an example here is, you all know Richard Dawkins, right? This atheist. He said, he's writing a couple of decades ago, and he says, and I'm quoting verbatim here, he says, a foreign publisher of my first book confessed that he could not sleep for 3 nights after reading it. So troubled was he by what he saw as its cold, bleak message. Others have asked me how I can bear to get up in the morning. A teacher from a distant country wrote to me reproachfully that a pupil had come to him in tears after reading the same book, because it had persuaded her that life was empty and purposeless. He advised her not to show the book to any of her friends for fear of contaminating them with the same nihilistic pessimism. Do you understand? Right? So when you read the books of these atheists, and they basically, they are saying that there's no purpose to life, life is meaningless, there's no real right or wrong, there's nothing really objective to pursue, right? Then you think, obviously, like, when a person reads that type of thing and they wake up in the morning, you think, well, why have I got up this morning? Like, what am I pursuing? What am I doing? Like, the meaning has been taken out of your life, right? Now, okay, so keep this in mind, right? That this is what these types of books they produce, right? When you read the books of these atheists, right? Dawkins, Hitchins, Dennett, and all these, kind of people. Now, I want you to think about something else, because there's an article in the New York Times, and it's titled, "The Happiest Places Post the Highest Suicide Rates." Right? The places which are the happiest, they are posting the highest suicide rates. How does this even make sense? How does it make sense? Right? The places which are posting the highest markers of like being happy and content, these same places are posting the highest suicide rates. How does that make sense? So in this article, 22nd April 2011, and it says here that Tara Parker Pope discussed research on happiness and suicide. The new findings help to explain what has long been a troubling paradox. This is like a mystery and it seems like a contradiction. The happiest places in the world tend to have the highest suicide rates. Numerous studies have shown that places like Denmark and Sweden that consistently score high on measures of happiness and life satisfaction also have relatively high suicide rates. After analyzing the data, the researchers found a relationship between overall happiness and risk of suicide. Right? In general, states with high levels of life satisfaction had higher suicide rates, according to the report, which has been accepted for publication in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization. I mean, look at this. Everything to them is just economies, They're only interested in satisfaction, suicide, to relate it to economic models and behavior. I mean, it's not even, it's all material. It's all materialistic. Okay, so that's the basic quote. And I want to give you a third quote as well from, you've heard of Christopher Hitchins. This is another very big atheist who died of esophageal cancer in 2011. And basically this man, he's had a few debates, right? He had a debate with a Jewish guy from New York called Shmuley Boteach, or however you pronounce it. And in this debate, when Hitchins is speaking, and he's actually mentioned the same argument a few times in different lectures, right? So basically what he's saying is, he's denying a purpose to life, and he's saying that, look, in 5 billion years' time, the scientists are saying that the Andromeda Galaxy is going to crash with our galaxy. Right? In 5 billion years' time. And because of that, that what have humans got to live for then? If that galaxy over there is going to crash with this galaxy and we're going to perish and die off anyway. In 5 billion years' time, that is. Right? So can you see this type of pessimism? Pessimism is extreme negativity. Can you see the extent to which these people are taking this extreme pessimism? It's like, when you go home tonight, please, I want you to hide under the cover and, be scared that in 5 billion years' time, the Andromeda galaxy is going to crash with, just be scared. And that's how these people are actually speaking, right? He's brought this up in a debate, not once, because I've listened to it a couple of times, a number of times. So, this is like the extreme destructive pessimism that these people of disbelief, that they believe in, and which, their belief system, it follows that this is the way you have to think. If there's no meaning to your life, if there's no creation first of all, there's no meaning, there's no purpose, there's no wisdom, there's no resurrection, there's no accountability, there's no justice, which you can place your, the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal, in which that you will not be wronged an atom's weight, there will be justice, right? If you don't have those beliefs, you will not have any hope, you will not have optimism. And if there is any happiness and satisfaction, it's all on the surface, like you've just read, right? The happiest places on earth are the ones with the most suicide. And obviously, that when they are measuring happiness, what do they really mean happiness? They don't mean happiness of the heart, satisfaction of the heart. What they mean is, you've got plenty of wealth, you're not living in poverty, you've got the outward kind of, luxuries and things like that you can enjoy. It's all like materialistic. And that, as we know, is not true happiness. Right? So clearly what's happening with these people is that as they're going through life and they, are eating and drinking and sleeping and, fulfilling their desires in so many different ways, and, over time it gradually dawns on them that, hang on, if there's only matter and there's no meaning or purpose to anything, what really am I doing? Once they get sick of like the drinking and the pleasure and they realize that this is not really pleasure, it's kind of almost like punishment. Once you just engross yourself in it, it no longer becomes like pleasure and fun, it becomes like toil, right? And then as they start going through life and they start realizing, what's going on here? Like there's no meaning to my life. And then slowly the end conclusions, the true realities of these philosophies, it kind of strikes them, which is that my life is as meaningful as, I've given this example before. Like, you might as well say that you have as much meaning in the universe as the feces of a dog. In the scheme of the universe and matter and materialism, and what's the difference between you and that? There isn't. There's no. If you weren't there, it wouldn't make any difference to the universe. And if the feces of the dog wasn't there, it wouldn't make any difference to the universe. So it clicks. Hang on, that my life is as meaningless or as valuable as the feces of a dog. What am I living for? What am I getting up for? And then it clicks to them, and then they realize, and that's what they do. These people are in Denmark, Sweden, Japan, in most of the atheistic societies, they just commit suicide, Right? So this is the difference between optimism, hope, right, which comes with creation, purposeful, meaningful, wisdom, absolute justice. And on this side, it's random, undirected, matter, meaningless, purposeless, just pessimism, fear, lack of certainty, pessimism, despair, right? And you've seen, the extent to which these people are willing to take, it's ridiculous, the extent to which they basically take all of that.